What's behind this gate behind me is a corridor which leads to what was once meant to be the first official mosque of Athens, in the only European capital which doesn't have a mosque. The structure is prefabricated and it has no minarets, no domes, and no entry. This is the result of a long-fought battle by the hundreds of thousands of Muslims who live in this city. The Greek state launched the official opening of the mosque with the attendance of the media and Muslim leaders. But I'm here and it's closed indefinitely, with police patrolling the front gates.
That is prohibited. Camera is prohibited.
We're not inside, we're outside. We're just doing journalism.
Yes, I know, but
we're just shooting a story on the mosque that's meant to be here. So I'm walking around the industrial area where the mosque is located after a police officer told us to leave because the mosque was closed. It's a little bit odd because the same police officer also told us that the mosque never existed when we first arrived. To get a better understanding of this, let's look at history between the Greek government and the Muslim minority. The new so-called mosque is in Athens over here, but to the north of Greece is a region where Muslims have lived natively. I'm here in Western Thrace, a region that encompasses parts of Greece and borders modern-day Turkey. Turkish Muslims lived here for years in what was once part of the Ottoman Empire, and when Ottoman rule ended, they didn't just pack their bags and go. They stayed because it was home. Xanthi is a key city in Western Thrace. I'm going to speak to some of the people here, but before we do that, I want to get a glimpse of the city first. It's a small town with lush greenery and historic buildings. It's also where a big part of the Turkish minority who remained in Greece currently live.
Tabii ki toplum olarak Hristiyan bir toplumun içerisinde ve Yunan diye kendini adlandıran ve kendinden başka bir millete yaşama hakkı pek tanımak istemeyen bir toplumun içerisinde Türklerin, Müslümanların sıkıntıları çok ve var. Yunan devleti burada Türk yok diyor. Dolayısıyla Türk ırkından olan bir insana yaşam hakkı vermiyor, hatta olmadığını söylüyor.
Ahmet Mete was born here and has been elected by the Muslim community to be their mufti since 2007. But the situation is a bit complicated.
Müftü 3 tane. Bir tanesi halkın seçtiği müftü ki ben oluyorum acizane. İkincisi devletin tayin ettiği müftü ki onu hiç kimse tanımıyor, görmüyor. Bir de devletin kovup devleti mahkemeye veren ve şu anda mahkeme kararı ile belki de geri dönecek olan Yunan'ın tayin edip sonradan kovduğu ve şu anda geri dönmeyi bekleyen müftüler var.
A mufti is an Islamic law expert who provides the community with direction and religious consultation. The mufti will deal with fatwa laws, mosque management and other community-related matters. And so people want to trust their elected leader or mufti.
Yunan devletini savunurken benim dedem Yunan-İtalya harbinde şehit düşmüş. Biz bu kadar vatan için mücadele eden insanlarız. Ama gelin görün ki Yunanistan beni, torununu vatan haini ilan ediyor. Mahkemeden mahkemeye sürüyor beni. Efendim ekonomik cezalar veriyor, baskılar yapıyor. Neden? Türk olduğunu söylemeyeceksin, Müslüman olduğunu söylemeyeceksin. Nerede Avrupa'nın savunduğu efendim insan hakları? Buyursun, Avrupa gelsin bizden Hristiyan Müslüman nasıl yaşar? Bunun modelini alsın bir. İkincisi Batı Trakya'da bu Müslümanlar ne eziyet görüyor diye bunu görsün.
But the Greek government doesn't like this idea and have been accused of trying to implement authoritarian rule over the minority. For decades, they haven't recognized the elected muftis and instead they've appointed their own. This is problematic because it's a violation of the Lausanne Peace Treaty.
The first signature to the historic treaty is Mr. MacDonald on behalf of Great Britain.
The Treaty of Lausanne was signed to end years of conflict and define the borders of modern-day Turkey, but it also provided protection to the Turkish Muslim minority in Greece and also the Greek Orthodox Christian minority in Turkey. Muslims in Western Thrace and Athens face hurdles pertaining to their ethnic identity, education, religious freedom, purchase of property and political representation. The 1913 Treaty of Athens dictates that muftis need to be elected by Muslims. But Greece has been violating international law. Just this month, the elected mufti of Komatini was sentenced to prison for 80 days. I'm outside what was once the last remaining mosque in Athens. It was converted into a prison and then later into a museum of Greek folk art. Since Ottoman rule ended, no new mosques have been erected in this city.
Before I became a Muslim, I had ignorance, total ignorance of all this. It's been a long time that we're trying to have a Greek public mosque. But we thought, as the constitution is supporting Muslims and Christians equally, like recognized religions, as the Christians build their churches in the same way, by the same legal system, we can build our mosque. So far, we don't have a mosque. We don't even have a cemetery in Athens. I mean, the Christian friend would go to a nice church, very nice ornated, and the Muslim friend should go underground in a dark place that is not something that feels like is belonging to. This is not humane. It's not humane that if I die, I don't know where I will be buried. I will ask some imam friend up north to say, please, dear imam, can you bury me in your cemetery or be buried in a cemetery that nobody knows, my parents don't know, my family does not. We are like unwanted in a sense. If you die, you're not wanted. If you want to pray, we don't want you to pray in open space.
Εγώ μπεκράτηκα όταν περέτησα στο ναύπηλιο στο ελληνικό στρατό και όταν έβγαινα απογεύματα έξω βρήκα ένα πολύ μεγάλο τζαμί ωραίο και το έχουν κάνει μπορνό σινεμά. Δηλαδή εγώ να περαιτήσω την ελληνική σημαία και να δώσω όρκο και να βγω έξω και να βλέπω το τζαμί μου που θα πρέπει να κάνω το προσευχή μου είναι μπορνό σινεμά. Αυτό είναι πολύ παράξενο, μου άφησε με πολύ μεγάλη στεναχώρια και μια πίκρα στην καρδιά μου. Έχω δει τζαμιά που είναι καφετέριες, τζαμιά που είναι μουσεία, τζαμιά που είναι μπαρ, τζαμιά που βάζανε ζώα μέσα.
In a country of hundreds of thousands of Muslims, many mosques aren't functional for use, and it's unsure whether the Muslims of Athens in the capital will ever have a formal place of worship.